Hi, in this video I will show you how to create apps that can consume cloud services, cloud databases, and all of the expressions that you can use to build beautiful apps. From the main menu, click on Apps, Files, and Folders. I will be creating a new folder called Cloud Examples, and enter Cloud Examples. I will create my first app. It is an HTML file. First app, and the extension is HTML. So do not forget to put the HTML extension. Like this, the editor will highlight the code, and you will consider it as an HTML. So here it will give me a template of an HTML file where there is a form here. So I'll save this. If I open it, it will show me my HTML form. So I will remove all of this to write some code and do some scripting to show you what we can do. So here there is the device. This is the first object that you can access from here. So the device, there is some properties like the IP address of the user, the browser he is using, and other stuff. So from the web, from the website, the developers apps API, getting started. Here you will find the device properties that you can use. There is the language, the country, the user IP, the user host type, the cookies, and the user URL. So we'll try to do some expressions. So to do some expression, just put a dollar in front, and here the device dot, for example, language, and I will add, for example, user IP, and user agent, and type, for example. So here it will show me the language of the user, connected user from the browser, the user IP, the all of the agents, and the type of the browser coming from here. So I can access request parameters. So if there is request parameters coming to this application, I can intercept them like this. So request params, and my parameter, for example, text. So if this expression is not exist, it doesn't exist, so it will cause an error. So I will try to avoid this error like this. So I'll add an if. So if this one exists, if this parameter exists, and the request print it. Okay. So to access request parameters, from here we cannot send request parameters. All we can do is to access this file from a web browser. So to allow users to access to your application, just go to change properties and modify the security level. So I will modify the security level. I will set it to read only access by anyone, and here's the ID of the file to use. So for more information about the apps, files, and folders module, what all of this is serving, so there is a demo that you can see later, and I will apply. So here I will open a new browser window, and I go here, API, and I will call the API. So here I will provide the provider is the apps files, and the service is the file content. I want the file content of this file. Okay, so and here it will show me my application. So if I add the text parameter, so and hits okay, so it will add the hello, it will display the hello. Okay, so it's from here. So here I can work with variables. I can assign variables like this. So assign data equal my variable. I will put a header here. So okay, and here I can access to my variable as I did for the other objects like device and request parameters by the dollar in front, and here I put data. So I will try just from here to see. So there's my variable. Okay, here I can access using the API to other files I can create by specifying the ID. For example, I will create a data file here called data as a JSON file, for example, and I will put something on it. First name is John, last name is Huda, and I'll put some semantics, okay, like science, computers, and here hobbies. I would put, for example, basketball and soccer. Okay, and here I have to get the ID of my file and go to my example, my first app, like this, and I will assign this to a variable, for example, data. So this will get the content of this file and store it in this data, and this variable data, as a string. So I'll test it like this. Okay, so here is the content. I'll add a BR here, and if I wanna work with this data as a JSON data, just add a reader. There's 4 readers. There's the JSON, the XML, the text, and the props. So, and here to print my JSON, I will just add a pre tag like this. It will be all formatted, and I use the method print to print any object, so for the JSON to be formatted. So, and here I have my JSON, so I can access to my JSON from here. For example, I can do like this list, and I will list all of the hobbies, semantics dot hobbies age, and here I will close the list, and just I will create some links. Okay, and here the same way, the dollar in front, and H and A. So there is no battery at all. And this one. So I can do. So I will save this and open. Yes, sure. There's a missing out here. And here I have the list of my hobbies of this person. So there is a good documentation about this that explains all of the tags that you can use, for example, to parse data, to create lists, to the conditions and everything. I will take a look together here. So go to developers, yeah, and go to apps API, so browse. So there is an introduction to Directive. So the expression language, where's the expression language itself. So it will tell you all about the expression language and how we work with. Here there is some of the well-used directives, like the assign variables, the if else if, the switch case default, the list break, the include to include files, the no parse to exclude a part of your expression to the not parse, and others. So, and here's the API directives is the most used one in our case, where we can access to any service provided by Skype's platform. And if I click here, so there is the file content, we use it together. There is the folder children, the mainnet content, the mainnet children, the table, the query, the service call, and others. So it works the same way. So you have to put the API, the ID of your resource, and what is the service you are requesting. And here you put the variable name. What is the variable name that will be storing the result of your service? The reader to use, there is the text, the JSON, the XML, the props, and the bytes, and the additional parameters that will be used by the service, because every service has its own parameters. So here you have a good set of examples that you can use. For example, to use JSON XPath in your JSON, for example. So it's like an XML XPath, but it's for JSON. And how to call services. I will take this example of a service, for example, and I will put it on my form. So here I will call a service. So okay. So here I will call my service. So cloud service bus dot service slash call. So you can use bus, and I'll explain everything. Just here formatted. Okay. Okay, so here is I'm calling the service from the platform. So the service is called the cloud service bus service call, and this is the ID of my running instance. So I have it already here. So if I go to my custom services, is this instance, the hello instance. Well, the hello instance is using the hello cloud service, which returns a characteristic called results and printing a hello first name. Okay, so from here I specify the ID of my service. The out is results. That means that I want this characteristic, and I'm storing the result in a variable called greeting, and here I will send some characteristics because this service is waiting for a characteristic called first name, and here I'm sending the first name. The value is John. So the syntax of this and all of this, it can be found here. So, and here you can see. So everything is explained if you want to go on more details. So here I will print my greeting. So I will put just a BR here. Okay, a new line. Okay, and open, and here cloud service results hello John. So the service is executed if I go to my service, sorry, in the money train, cloud services money train, I go to hello. So yes, there is an execution here, so you can find it. Okay, back to our application. Okay, so here I can call cloud services. I can call, for example, the services table, and the variable is okay. Oh yeah, my table. Okay, I will get the data from all of the data of a table. So here I will go to cloud database. I have already some tables here. Okay, business data tables. So the contact table. So it's the 1062. Okay. And here I will put the ID of my table, the 1062, and I will print my table. Okay. Again, here is the data from my table. So this is considered as text because as we said, the default reader in the API is the text reader. So I can put, as I did in this example, I can put the reader as JSON, and here I can see my JSON. Results, and here you can see all of the data coming from this table. I can access, for example, to data, and for example, data this first name. So what I can do is I go to my table dot data, data 0 is the first row, and I hit that one, and here I can get Scott. So I can iterate my data like this and get all of the users. If, for example, to create a table of my users, and here, okay, and I can iterate on this one, and here is user. Okay, and here I can put the user first name, last name. Okay, and here I can get the list of my users as Scott, Tiger, John Knight, and Caroline. Okay. This one was an introduction to the apps, and in next demos we can find more about how to submit pages, how to forward from page to page, and so on. If you need more information about the apps, so just go to the documentation and browse. And if you need something special, just ask some questions about it, and we can handle it. Thank you so much.